Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot out in Prosper, Texas. As always, please hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps it out, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. This is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me, as well as get some more insights on the YouTube channel. But anyways, today is a late afternoon adventure out at this Home Depot, because if you haven't already known or heard of, Doc Bloc Anthuriums have reached big box stores. Yes, Anthurium Doc Blocs have reached Home Depot, and I am out on a mission to try to find these Anthurium Doc Blocs or Doc Bloc Anthuriums. I am super excited, and I'm hoping that this Home Depot, which I actually dub as one of the best Home Depots in the North Dallas Fort Worth area, will have them. So we're gonna see if I'm able to find these Anthuriums. Now I know I am probably just following the craze as far as trying to find in an uncommon or hard to find plant at a big box store. You know, Anthuriums in general, especially Doc Bloc, would be something that you wouldn't necessarily find at a big box store like Home Depot. But as you can see, you know, these rare and uncommon plants have started to make it into the market, and Doc Bloc Anthuriums, that is crazy that they are now at a big box store. So we're gonna see if we can find them at Home Depot. You can see right over here though, I will show you some of the outdoor plants. If you follow my YouTube channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome, my name is Richie. I like to feature outdoor plants, gardening plants, anything that is plant related, I will definitely show. And you can see that a lot of the big box stores are starting to clear out areas to where they are going to start having live Christmas trees. So if you love the smell of a live Christmas tree, you're going to have to go to a big box store like Home Depot or Lowe's or even Walmart to get your live Christmas tree. I think Walmart doesn't actually have live Christmas trees. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least Home Depot and Lowe's will. And, you know, as far as proven winter plants, you can see that they do have some of these live Christmas tree type plants. This one right here is not a bad price at all. And you can see right over here, a lot of the cypress and pines are Arbovitae, I think that's how you pronounce it. This one is for $16.99. This one is for $18.98. Same plant, just by different nurseries. And then we're just gonna walk over here and I'll show you some more of these outdoor plants. But anyways, to go back to the hunt for the Anthuriums, I'm seeing a lot of plant influencers, plant collectors literally go to Home Depots in the search of a Doc Bloc Anthurium. Now here's the thing I would say about like a plant that is going to be released or has been released into a big box store: the potential of people reselling those plants. It's kind of like what happened when a plant like the Monstera Thai constellation made it out into the market. You'll see a lot of people buying and reselling the plant. I say, and this is just my honest opinion, I don't think people should go out there and buy all of the Anthuriums and just think that it's okay to keep it away from other people or to resell them at a higher price. My honest opinion is I feel like people should, you know, buy the plant because they want to grow it into their plant collection or maybe gift it to somebody, not necessarily with the intent of reselling it for a higher price. I mean, that's the reason why, you know, big box stores will sell these plants because they want to make it more readily available for the general public. Now, going back to the plants, I did want to show you that these are Encore Azalea. So azaleas are a flowering shrub that I love. That one's for $18.98. Azaleas, especially the Encore Azaleas, are actually blooming around this time of the year. What makes Encore Azaleas special is that they rebloom at least 3 times a year. So you'll get them in spring, summer, and fall. They're one of the very few types of azaleas that will rebloom. Most azaleas will actually only bloom in the spring, maybe late spring or early summer. But you can see that Encore Azalea, look at how gorgeous this is. This is called the Autumn Sangria. Really like that color. And, you know, as far as Encore Azaleas, they're very prolific bloomers, and they have 31 different varieties that they have hybridized themselves. And that's the thing about azaleas. if you're going to plant an azalea in your landscape, you want to put them in an area where it's not necessarily full sun, but somewhere where they will get bright indirect light, morning light. And you know, as far as an Encore Azalea, a little bit more light they're able to take, they're able to handle. But for the most part, azaleas really don't want to be out in full sun like that. That's not going to work for them. And as far as you know, the soil, they want fast draining soil. They really don't want to sit in very you know, wet conditions. But at the same time, if you're going to grow an Encore Azalea or any azalea that's establishing in a landscape, and I did want to show you the undersides of this petal, like that's super cool. You want to make sure that you are watering them at a consistent pace, as in don't let them have dry spells completely. Like, you want to keep their soil moist because they have very fine roots and they are quick to decline in health if you allow them to dry out completely for a long period of time. So again, I did want to point it out there that as far as Encore Azaleas, and this is another variety of Encore Azalea, this one is, I think, Autumn Embers, and you can see that it's got more of a reddish tone to it, a light reddish tone. I like the fact that also Encore Azaleas are more of a dwarf or medium variety of Encore Azalea. Now, I love bonsai. So bonsai is actually the form of growing a miniature tree in a shallow container. I would love to be able to convert or use Encore Azalea as kind of like a pre-bonsai and make it into an actual flowering bonsai. I would actually commission somebody who is a bonsai expert to actually make an Encore Azalea bonsai. I think that that would be such a good project. And then I did want to show you the remains of a lot of the fall seasonal plants. You can see right here, $10.99. This is a Croton Petra. You know, crotons are the most readily available seasonal plant around the month of October. But then as soon as November, the first week of November hits, they start to phase them out and bring out all of the living Christmas tree type plants. Now, I do like this mixed planter of a Dracaena Steed Soul. Look at how pretty that is. And, you know, a Dracaena Steed Soul, that would be another plant that I wouldn't mind adding to my collection. A lot of people look at Dracaenas as an underrated plant because people see them, or they are more synonymous to be a decorative plant in like a dentist's office, a doctor's office, a corporate office, not so much a person who's growing a plant collection. But for me, that is an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that is low light tolerant, drought tolerant, and fairly inexpensive. They come in many different varieties and they can get to a pretty large size. So there's just a lot of uses for a Dracaena, and it is interesting that it is in a mixed planter with a Croton Petra and Caladiums. And here's the thing though, if you're going to grow a Dracaena with a Croton Petra and a Caladium, the thing about it is you're going to have to give this planter quite a bit of light, especially in the fact that there is a Croton in there. And then as far as the Caladium, know that the Caladium is going to eventually die down and become dormant. So it's an interesting concept for a mixed planter, but whenever you have a mixed planter of different types of plants, you have to look at the different care tips of them. And then over here, we've got another Encore Azalea. This one again is another beautiful one. This one is starting to bloom. And here's the thing about like azaleas. I have sent them to Plant Heaven multiple times. I've had some actually survive like a full growing season, but for some reason, I can't seem to keep them alive in my growing conditions outside. I don't know what it is, but I would love to be able to get one to establish and grow because I want flowering plants. I want flowering shrubs, and they are quintessential to a Japanese garden. And then over here, you can see that this is such a cute looking Arvitae, I think Arbovitae, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's got a little mound. That one is a tater tot, or that's what it's called. And then you can see that this one is a different type of reblooming azalea. It looks similar. This is Deja Bloom azaleas right over here. Let's look at some of the requirements and care tips. This is called the Red Tiara. I really like that. So it's similar to an Encore Azalea. I would say they're pretty much the same somewhat, I guess. I don't know, leave it in the comments if you've actually grown this type of azalea, but I like the fact that it is a dwarf form, and you can see that you can actually make this into like a bonsai. I really like that it's got darker red red balloons for it. And that's the thing next year I want to explore. I want to explore making more bonsai. I had some footage where I made some bonsai and shared it on the YouTube channel, and I did want to say, for those that have made it this far into the video, thank you, and I hope that you made it to the point where you've hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps the channel's engagement out. It pushes it out to more plant lovers like yourself. It looks like the last couple of videos have really gotten some traction in terms of viewership, and that's because you have taken the time to hit the like button and also leave lots of comments so I can respond to them. I really like the community we built on Grow Folds Plant Foldies, and I hope that we continue to get that momentum going, especially heading into the holiday season. It's been a very busy time for me. It's been a very stressful time for me, but at the end of the day, when I'm able to go to a big box store, film these plants, and be able to create this content and give you all of my plant insights in terms of like houseplant care, plant care tips, plant pricing, it's just a big joy for me, and I really hope that that resonates with you all as you continue to invest your time on a nightly basis to watch my live premieres, or if you're actually finding my channel for the first time, welcome to the community. But as far as this Home Depot, I will get to the indoor tropical plants. I have a strong feeling that I could potentially find a Doc Bloc Anthuriums. Actually, leave it in the timestamps in the comment section if you think that this Home Depot has it. If you watch my previous videos of this Home Depot, know that they have some of the best plants in terms of proven winners that they release, and they remain pretty full and impactful in general year round. Coleus plant, Coleus Kong. Really love the look of this plant. Some people think that this plant should only be an outdoor plant, but you can actually grow this indoor. And that's, again, a thing about Coleus plants. In the Philippines, where my family is originally from, we call this the Mayana plant. That's definitely grown outdoors, but I have been able to grow Coleus plants indoors, and they have done very well for me. It is one of those plants that is overlooked, underrated in terms of just whether you should grow them indoors or not. And then you can see right over here, this one is a mixed planter. This is a drop and decorate planter. So I think this season we've seen a lot of big box stores offer mixed planters. This one is for $19.98. You can see that Home Depot has mixed planters, Lowe's has mixed planters of plants, as well as Walmart has mixed planters. And I like this, especially if you're looking for instant gratification, where it takes the guessing game on plant care and actually just mixing up plants in a plant container. You can see that this Coleus, I am assuming, is a sun Coleus. These varieties, I don't know the specific name off the top of my head, but you will see that they have a beautiful look about it. You've got some reds, you've got some orange, and you've got some yellows, you've got some borders around the leaves. It is a really nice plant, and actually this can get fairly large. What I would do, as it's gotten a little bit leggy, is you can actually cut that and stick the plant directly into the container as to propagate it and make it more full, but also to encourage more growth. So that's one way of doing it. And as far as Coleus plants, literally they have a 98% chance of propagating straight into soil. It is one of the easiest plants to propagate ever. And then I'm just going to walk over here and show you some of these blooms and then these coral bells. So $10.98 by Vigoro Plants. Vigoro is basically I would say the Costa Farms or provider for for Home Depot. You see a lot of Vigoro plants here. They will do outdoor plants as well as indoor tropical plants, which we will get to in just a few. So hopefully you've stuck around this long to just admire some of the outdoor plants. You already know, if I'm gonna go do a plant shopping video, I'm gonna cover all my bases with all of my plants and really show you the outdoor plants. Mind you, I know that some people may not be into outdoor gardening, or even succulents, or even bonsai, or even tropical plants, indoor tropical plants. Some of you guys might be here for the outdoor gardening. I want to just encapsulate all of the different types of plants, so that way we have a more diverse community. I did want to say, as far as the coral bells, they're not gonna like sun. It says that they are wanting full sun, so maybe these varieties are. They like to be more in bright indirect light, sometimes shade. I do like the colors. I mean, you can see right over here, look at that, the purple undersides of the leaves, and then you can see that the veining on the leaves as well. It's a really nice variety. And you know how you just have that feeling that a certain plant will not do well being grown indoors? I could say that as far as growing this indoors, a coral bell will not do well growing indoors. There are some plants that you can push the envelope that are not really conducive to growing indoors, and you'll be able to get them to grow indoors. And now whether they'll actually like survive, I don't necessarily know. I feel like this would be a spider mite magnet if I were to take this plant and try to grow them indoors, but that's just my honest opinion. And then you can see right here a highlight. Doesn't this look like legitimate snow? Like, we don't really get a lot of snow out in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. I'm actually in Prosper right now, but you can see how this is so cool as far as like a living Christmas tree. Obviously, this snow will eventually wash away from the plant. I think it's really an interesting concept. The only concern I would have is whether this plant is going to actually be covered by this stuff right here that looks like snow, and whether it would be able to photosynthesize. So this one is for $24.98, and I can tell that it is a little overwatered because there's no drainage hole. So it looks like a lot of these plants have been watered, but the thing about it is, if it doesn't have a drainage hole, they're going to sit in water, and you already know that is not a good thing for these plants. I'm hoping that somebody will go around and tip over the water, aka myself, for instance, to where you can get rid of some of the water. Any plant that sits in water, unless they are just a water loving plant, will eventually get root rot, and that is the fastest way of sending a plant to plant heaven. You can see this one right here is sitting in water. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my due diligence and my good Samaritan by just making sure that I help the plant somehow. Dwarf Alberto spruce, $10.98. Now these plants right here, yes, you might be able to grow them temporarily for the holiday season for the next 3 to 4 weeks, potentially as a Christmas tree indoors, but just know that they're gonna need a lot of light. And it looks like somebody changed their mind on this ZZ plant right here, $10.98. I do love ZZ plants. In the last video, I was able to find Acosta Farms trending tropical plant of a ZZ plant chameleon, where it had like the, bright new growth that would eventually harden. It's almost like a philodendron Florida ghost version, but for a ZZ plant. But look at all of these beautiful Christmas tree type plants. This is the season to find them, and they even have these berry looking plants, or these holly. You can see right over here, super cute plant. And I do like holiday plants. I ended up buying a poinsettia, a variegated one at not Home Depot, Lowe's, and I'm super excited about that. I just have to do a little bit more research on the plants. And again, that's what I was gonna say from all of my previous videos. I am just curious about people's plant budget, whether you feel like you've already added too many plants. I can tell you already, I am over budget and I'm over capacity of plants, but I cannot stop buying plants. And I think that's the reason why I probably shouldn't be doing daily plant shopping videos, 1 hour long ones, because that gives me more time to look through and look at plants. And it gives me more instances where I may potentially go ahead and do impulse buys. So I do it for the Plantfoldy community. I do it for you. And all I ask again is, if you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. It does help my channel out substantially. It is your way of validating that my work is, worth your time. And I really hope that you are enjoying my plant shopping videos. I know a lot of times, or at least the last couple of plant shopping videos, I've kind of talked a lot about just plant insights or my personal thoughts. I utilize these videos really to make it as more like a personal blog where I can talk to you. If you are a person that needs a little bit more company, sometimes I kind of like being able to talk freely about the plants or what's going on with my life personally. So that's what you're going to get from this Grow Folds Plantfoldy community. But you can see over here, going back to the plants again, we have a lot of succulents and cactus. I am hoping that we will find some really good indoor tropical plants today. It is a late afternoon. I was filming this around 5:30 or 6, somewhere around that. And, you know, the sun sets very quickly. So by the time I get out of this store, it's probably going to look like late evening. But as far as succulents and cactus, you will find Smart Plants as the main provider of succulents and cactus at Home Depot. You know, at Lowe's, you have Oasis plants. At Home Depot, you get Smart Plants. And that one was a string of raindrops. So I really like that. And then you can see we have a bunch of Opuntia right over here, golden barrel cactus, and an assortment of different types of Altman Reserve succulents and cactus. That's kind of more of the premier types of succulents and cactus. And then we have more succulents and cactus here. General care tips for succulents is you don't want to overwater them. So make sure that you let the soil dry out completely. They actually thrive even more so with neglect in terms of watering. But as far as growing a succulent indoors, you're going to have to either provide a grow light or give them a lot of light. Otherwise, they are better suited growing outdoors. Now, here is the Proven Leaf Joy series. So we're going to go search around to see if at least this case has a bunch of plants. If we're going to able to find the, the Doc Bloc Anthuriums that has been released out in the market. Obviously, we haven't even made it into the indoor tropical greenhouse. These are the ones that are just outside. You can see right here. This is the Green Shields plant, and I actually find this plant super easy to take care of. And what makes it easy to take care of is because it will let you know when it needs water, and it is slightly forgiving whenever you don't water it. So like literally it could be on the verge of going to plant heaven. It kind of behaves like a peace lily, but as soon as you water it, like within an hour, it perks up. So that has been not a hard plant to grow. And then you can see right here, Philodendron Rojo Congo. This one is for $29.98, again by Proven Winners. That is a beautiful philodendron. It is a common philodendron. I would say it's another philodendron that is definitely overlooked when you start to look at philodendron like this. Like this is a stunner. This is a Philodendron Florida Green for $29.98. And yes, it's not the variegated Philodendron Florida Beauty, but look at the leaf shape of the leaves. Beautiful plant. It's a pretty fast growing plant, and it's an easy to propagate plant for plant, cuttings. You can root them in water, and I love this plant. I already have one, but here's an example of me wanting to add another one in my plant collection just because it's really beautiful. It looks like they just got this plant restock, which gives me hope that I can find that Anthurium Doc Bloc at Home Depot. You know, that has been my mission. I will be going through Home Depots throughout the week to try to find it. It's interesting that a lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area have really been going to Home Depots in the search of finding the Doc Bloc Anthuriums. I am one of them. And again, especially if you are in the DFW market and you want to know what's getting into our plant, in our plant, community, or just the plant market in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel with the notification bell on, all notifications. So there is an option where it has like personalized notification, but do the all, so that way whenever I upload any type of video, whether it is a live premiere that's scheduled to debut or a shorts video or a community post, you will stay up to date. Now check this out. This is a Philodendron Florida Beauty, but notice the size difference. I'm not going to pay $29.98 for that small size when you can get something as established like this already, another Philodendron Florida Beauty for $29.98. And that's the thing about big box store plant shopping. You want to make sure that you are very selective and picky about the plants that you buy. And here's the reason why. Number one, whenever you see a plant make it into a big box store, for the most part, that plant is going to get restocked. Number two, yes, the plant pricing may be cost effective, but that goes back to my reason number one. You already know that plant is going to get restocked, and you want to be selective of it. And as far as that, so you see that there are two different sizes on the plant. I also say if you're going to go to a big box store and buy plants, I would definitely buy the plant if you feel like that plant has been recently restocked. Like I really feel like they just rolled this cart out from proven winners, and these just went, these just came by from proven winners. A lot of the plants are at their best health when they recently just make it to the big box store and haven't sat at the big box store for a long time. Now this is another calathea. This one is more of the fuzzy calathea type plant. I think, for $19.98, that is not a risk I want to add into my plant collection. And I say this because calatheas are really a challenging plant. Some people have given me a little bit of flack about me, gaslighting, or even saying that, or discouraging people from buying calatheas. It's not that I want to, intentionally discourage anybody from buying calatheas. I just want to influence people into really thinking about, what plants such as a calathea that would give you a little bit more of a challenge, and whether you're willing to invest in doing, growing a plant that's going to require just a little bit more of your time and care. This is a Ficus elastica Chloe, so that one I like. That's another rubber tree type plant that has more rounder leaves. And then you can see right over here, quintessential and classic Epipremnum aureum. This one is summer nights, I don't know what the plant ID is for proven winners, but proven winners basically has these unique plant names, even though most of them are already patented or at least have a common name. And this one is a nice plant find, and you may not find this. This is the freckled splash Hoya cornosa. That is not the correct plant ID, but I do love the fact that even though it's got the wrong plant ID, this is the cordyline pinstripes. So this one is a more uncommon cordyline plant. You don't really see that in the market, and I'll have to tell you, I wasn't really intending to buy another plant today. Like I would probably buy a Doc Bloc Anthurium, if it does make it to the big box store. But this is another plant that, I just mentioned how you have to be selective with the plant and know that it's going to get restocked. This particular one though, this is the pinstripe cordyline plant. I definitely want to buy it. I know that cordyline plants are challenging to grow, but this is one that I would try to grow indoors. And what I'm going to try to do, and it'll be the first time, is to actually convert a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant like this into semi-hydroponic substrate, and I'm going to specifically put it in lechuza pond. So here's the thing about lechuza pond. I almost feel like lechuza pond is the answer to being able to grow a plant that's a little bit more challenging, to see if it actually will make a difference. Now, plant foldies, and for those that actually have tried to grow a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant indoors, have you been successful? Because I've been told that cordyline Hawaiian tea plants are really a plant that needs to grow outdoors because it is such a spider mite prone plant. Leave in the comments. You already know I love lots of comments, and for those who really have taken the time the last couple of videos to give me comments to read and respond to, thank you so much. That brings me a lot of joy. It really does make this plant journey of me making big box store plant shopping videos daily worthwhile. Now over here you can see this is a philodendron mayoi. I love this plant, $29.98, and as it matures, the leaves really have a nice shape to it. They just have a really nice shape. And then as far as Monstera deliciosa, $29.98 by proven winners. I think that they are winners in a sense that for the most part they have lots of beautiful green Monstera deliciosas. This is another plant I do feel like is an underrated, overlooked plant these days because everybody is searching for the more variegated Monsteras. I like variegated Monsteras, but the green form is going to work out for you as well. Now, this is for $29.98. This is another Ficus elastica taniki. Now, I'm going to tell you, yes, I do like proven winner plants, but if you're going to look for a more cost-effective plant or one that's a little bit more inexpensive, I would recommend buying, rubber tree plants or Ficus elastica at Trader Joe's. You can get something that size for $12.99. So That's the reason why you always want to compare and contrast whenever you're buying plants at a big box store or a local nursery like this right here, Philodendron Mayoi, $29.98. This is actually a pretty good specimen, but I remember seeing one from another Home Depot like 3 days ago when I was filming that was a lot larger. So again, you know, the theme of this video today is not only me searching for the Doc Bloc Anthurium at Home Depot, but also to talk about plant selection at a big box store. I mean, you can see right here, Philodendron Golden Crocodile. Love this plant. The serrated philodendrons, this one I think is for $19.98. Beautiful yellow tone about it. You know, I love collecting these yellow or neon colored philodendron or just plants in general. But in order to maintain that coloration, you want to give it quite a bit of bright light. Otherwise, it's going to be more of a greenish tone. Now, here's the thing. It does have some cosmetic damage to these plants, so I'm hoping that we get that, you know, we get more of these philodendrons, or at least these philodendron golden crocodiles readily available for proven winners as the months come around. Now, it's interesting that they pushed out more indoor tropical plants in the colder months, but we will see if we can find that Doc Bloc Anthurium. Now, this is my very first time, and I am super excited to find this. This is a Begonia Iron Cross for $19.98. Now, my initial thought was, okay, I haven't found this plant. Let me buy it. I am proud to say that I held off from buying this begonia. I probably would have bought it if, you know, bought another, you know, proven winners leaf joy plant if it wasn't a begonia. But this is a Rex type begonia, and I have successfully been able to grow one Rex begonia that I bought from a local nursery, you know, local nursery at a local nursery out in North Dallas called Green Acres. And it's been doing well for me. But this Iron Cross begonia, super cool. It's definitely a plant find. So, you know, I would say that even if I don't find the Doc Bloc Anthurium this evening, I am, you know, really happy that I was able to find another uncommon plant like the Begonia Iron Cross. You know, that's the thing about proven winners. They are starting to really get into the indoor houseplant, tropical plant, and I'm loving it. I'm living for it. You know, whenever I think of proven winner plants, I think of, you know, all of their outdoor gardening plants, but it's nice that they have finally really gotten invested into providing us with more indoor tropical plants, house plants that we can grow indoors. These are really cost effective. Like you can see right here, if you're a Hoya fan, $5.98. You saw earlier I picked up a Syngonium, and we just have even more plants here. So this rack right here, I haven't seen that Doc Bloc Anthurium. I really need to try to find it at Home Depot. I feel like this Home Depot, if I'm gonna you know, pick a Home Depot out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, would most likely have it, just because this one has a lot of the new releases. I mean, you can see right here, this is really full of proven winner plants. So again, that proven winners Doc Bloc Anthurium, that is something that's trending. That is something that I want to actually jump on the bandwagon, simply because I want to be able to steer everybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area the home location, you know, of some of those plants. But we're gonna go ahead and spin around here. I'm gonna keep showing you more proven winner plants, but I did want to go ahead and show you some smart plants, some more succulent type plants that are readily available at this Home Depot. I do love that this has that Rodeo oyster plant. It's one of my favorite plants because of the pink. I love pink plants, and you know, that one's a pretty easy to care for plant. And then you can see right over here, we've got a bunch of different types of succulents. So I'm just gonna pick up a couple and show you what these are. These are for $5.98. You'll see the plant ID flashed in front of you right here. So if you're curious, this one is the Dusty Rose right here. Now, again, with succulents, I have about 4 succulents in my plant collection, and I'm hoping to continue to grow them. Like this one right here, this is super easy. This one is one that is actually an Echeveria, I think, but look at how it's fuzzy. It's not really shaped like an Echeveria, and then you can see that it's got a red maroonish tip on it. I was almost tempted to buy this one again today for $5.98, just because I haven't really ever seen this type of succulent. But you know, If it's one that's been released at a big box store like Home Depot, I know that I'll eventually find it. But honestly, that is the first time I've ever seen that succulent released out in a big box store. So that's really interesting. You know, the winter months are coming though, and that's the thing about adding plants. Here's a little story. I should not be adding plants to my plant collection in the winter because we get a very cold winter out in the North Dallas area. I wouldn't say that I get snow, but a lot of my plants that I do grow outdoors, I try to bring them indoors, or what I call overwinter them. The problem is when I overwinter these plants, they're gonna have a situation where I don't know, where like I'm not going to have any space to grow these plants. Like for instance, if I wanted to buy this variegated plant, and this one's really highly variegated. So if I were going to buy or binge on plants, I would have impulse bought that one particular succulent with the red tips, and then this variegated plant right here, which I often see, but this one's got some really high variegation. I really can't do that. And the reason why I should not be buying plants in the winter and fall season is because I'm not going to have space for it. And that's the reason why I ask anybody watching these videos right now, if you made it this far, leave in the comments if you've actually inundated yourself, or actually overbought plants that you're not going to have space for in the winter months. Leave that in the comments. Again, I'm really trying to encourage a lot more dialogue outside of the live premiere chats, but more so in the comments section. So for those that are new to the channel, we'll see more chatter, and I really want to encourage and get people excited to do so. Leave in the comments again, and if you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out. I don't have any shame in asking you guys for help in terms of just hitting that like button. But anyways, plant foldies, you can see right over here, we do have these on sale for $10.98. So it's 50% off on these Leaf Joy hydroponic, or basically these are plants that are growing in straight water. But for me, I feel like, as far as like say this pothos right here, golden pothos for $5.98. I like the hydroponic look. I have a philodendron Birkin that I bought, and it's doing very well for me. But as far as some of the smaller hydroponic or Leaf Joy bowl, H2 bowls, I feel like they're just a little bit pricey. Now, $10.98 is not bad because it is a cute setup. But as far as your value, I would rather get these ones right here. That's a spider plant for $5.98. But these plants now, if it was half off, I think these are $29.98. I would buy it for $15. I would buy a gorgeous Monstera deliciosa. I think that is a very stylish looking plant. And then we have right here, I believe, a philodendron Macaulay's finale, and then we also have another type of calathea here. I tried to grow plants hydroponically just earlier this year, but converting them in straight water, it is a little bit more challenging, because I feel like unless you stay on top of the watering and changing the water out with nutrients, it actually is a little bit tougher than just growing them in semi-hydro. Semi-hydro, at least, growing a plant in like lechuza pond or leca, it just allows you to have more flexibility in terms of just the watering. And that, to me, that's really important. I feel like you should be able to grow these plants with little to no care. And like for instance, the Aglaonema Silver Bay, $14.97 by Vigoro Plants. Beautiful plant as well. And again, that is another plant you must add to your plant collection. I repeat, if you are a plant foldy or somebody that is getting into houseplants, get yourself an Aglaonema. Now, this one is a Summer Nights Pothos, which is basically an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one right here is in a Leaf Joy bowl with just straight water, but I wouldn't pay $19.98 for basically a pothos propagation. That's not anything against, proven winners. I love their plants, but whenever we talk about cost-effective plant pricing, I just think it's a little much, even though it is now on sale for $10.98. Now, this one right here is another example of a Syngonium. I think this might be, the plant ID kind of falls away from me, but that one is only for $5.98. It's one of the more uncommon ones, and you can see right here, this one is for $5.98 as well. I think that these starters of 4-inch plants from Leaf Leaf Joy, proven winners. I think that they're the most cost effective and they have some really nice plants, because this one is a Syngonium milk confetti. And I just remember when the Syngonium was quite expensive a couple years back, and now you can find it at a big box store. And that goes to show that whenever a plant is actually making it to a big box store like Home Depot, they become a little bit more cost effective. And that's the reason why I understand people going out to Home Depots, like going to multiple Home Depots in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the search for the Anthurium Doc Bloc. So I know that they've shown up in the West Coast and then I believe the East Coast. So proven winner plants like this one right here. We're gonna just see as I walk into this Home Depot. You can see that this Home Depot is super full. I would just think that there would be a Doc Bloc Anthurium somewhere here. Because look at how full this is. And I really love the fact that they have a separate section specifically for the indoor tropical plants. It looks like they just got restocked. So this gives me a little bit of hope that we will be able to find the Doc Bloc Anthuriums this evening. If not, you got to stay tuned this whole week, because on Tuesday, I'm probably going to go to 3 or 4 or 5 Home Depots out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to see if I can find it. I did talk to an employee and they did mention that they are getting plants almost every single day. So we're going to see. And I have a couple of ideas of what Home Depots to hit up, because I would say there's at least 4 that I know that are really stocked well and actually have a good amount. So that's something I'm going to be doing on Tuesday on my day off, is literally going all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area and just going to Home Depots in the search for a Doc Bloc Anthurium. That's not to say that tonight, and you have to stay until the very end of this video to find out on whether I found the Doc Bloc Anthuriums at Home Depot. You'll have to check that out. But you can see here, they've got different types of calathea. And again, calatheas, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. They're actually pet friendly, but we cannot grow them, or at least I cannot grow them long term. I would suggest, rather than getting a calathea, to buy a pothos plant for $14.98. Look at how large that is. And that is a Marble Queen pothos. Beautiful plant as well. Easy to care for plant. It's a plant that I would recommend anybody to grow, whether you're a seasoned plant collector, plant lover. I think that is a plant you should add to your collection. And even the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess, that's another plant that I would recommend as well. And I feel like with this new restock from Home Depot, you can see that they just got these carts delivered not too long ago. And we do have some Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema Nicole. I love the border on the leaf right there. And then just the middle part has that really nice silver foliage. And then we also have some more large Aglaonema. These, I believe, are for $29.98 or something of that nature. And I do think, and I have been looking at this Aglaonema for a while. This is the Aglaonema White Rain, also known as the Aglaonema Golden Bay. I'm thinking I'm going to probably purchase that today if I am not able to find the Anthurium Doc Bloc, or the Doc Bloc Anthurium that supposedly is hitting a lot of the Home Depot. So if that is the case, I do have this in my budget. I would want to go ahead and purchase this. And things to look for when you're buying Aglaonema is, you notice how it has several several plants in the actual pot, and the actual trunk or the stems, or there's multi stems to where it is a very healthy looking plant. I'm also looking for any cosmetic to the leaves, like that one, like this particular one right here has some leaves that are a little bit damaged. One is bent. And when you have a plant restock, you should always have the options where you're gonna buy the most perfect looking plant if possible. And above right there, we've got some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. It looks like they've gotten a new shipment in. And based on what the Home Depot employees have told me, they've been getting shipments of new plants in daily. So if for some reason the Doc Bloc Anthurium does not make it to this Home Depot, I will check back later this week. I will be on a hunt to look for that particular Anthurium. This one right here is for $14.98, and you can see that we have another Aglaonema Silver Bay. Really love the look of this Aglaonema Silver Bay. Beautiful plant. It's a plant that I would recommend. It's a plant that I have, and it is a plant that every plant foldie, any viewer that is watching my plant videos should put in their plant collection because they're so easy to take care of. But as you can see right here, we've got lots of restocks, and I really like seeing a full big box store like Home Depot have a restock. And you can see here they have some pretty good looking Vigoro hanging baskets. So these are for $19.98. This is a Marble Queen Pothos, and any pothos at this point I will take multiples of. I love pothos, and you know, it's been rekindled in the sense that before I was all about pothos. I was literally taking plant cuttings of pothos and propagating like 50 to 60 cuttings every 2 to 3 weeks, and then I kind of stopped doing that. I kind of fell out of love of pothos plants, but then I am on this whole stretch about going back to the basics when it comes to houseplants, like finding plants that have basic care needs, finding plants that are more cost effective. And I would even just say $19.98. You can see we've got some pothos plants here. So this is a low variegated golden pothos. I would even say that that looks more like a jade pothos at that point. But when it comes to these hanging basket fixtures, you can see that there's always going to be one from Vigoro Plants. And then obviously it is the second week of November. Next week is going to be, I believe, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But we already have the poinsettia. So poinsettias are a tropical plant, and just like the crotons that we saw in October, we see that big box stores will carry a bunch of poinsettias. I do find them beautiful. Some people only just grow them for a seasonal plant, and I love this container. So you've got this poinsettia decoration here for $22.98. So we've got pink poinsettias, we've got a red one in the middle, and then we have a bunch of polka dot plants, that, you know, dark polka dot plants. So what a really nice color combination. This actual plant container really looks nice. And then you can see we've also got some more white poinsettias that look more like flowers. Now what's interesting about the poinsettia is the red parts or the colorful parts are not necessarily the blooms. The blooms are actually the small yellow flowers. The actual coloration is also just the leaves. It just tends to do that when it is within that season. So as far as poinsettias, they do need quite a bit of light. I do want to try to grow one of my variegated poinsettias that I found at Lowe's to see if I can grow it long term. And you know, I ask all of our plant foldies, if you've actually grown poinsettias outside of the Christmas holiday season. You know, a lot of these plants are only popular for a good 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and then a lot of them end up either going to plant heaven or they get composted, one or the other. But it's interesting how much production goes into place when it comes to, you know, growing poinsettias. And I mean, for me, let me know in the comment section if you think I am going to be able to find the Doc Bloc Anthurium that is released by Proven Winners Doc Bloc Anthurium. I'm hoping I can, because this actual Home Depot is super full. It looks like they've got a lot of plants. So all the signs are pointing that there is a high potential of finding the Anthurium Doc Bloc. Leave in the comments what you think at this point and what you think about this Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Love the look of the neon pothos. Absolute stunner right there. $19.98. And if I am actually going to ask me like what my favorite pothos plant is, I think at the very moment, it has to be the neon pothos. It's just bright, it's just easy, and I just love it. And then right over here, you can see that this is a hanging basket, Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, but notice how it's already trailing. So that's the thing about going plant shopping. You've really got to see like the growth, whether there's a lot of growth on the plant, because for the most part, all of these plants are not, you know, priced by how much, you know, as how many, you know, leaves are there. It's really just priced by the size of the planter. Sometimes you'll get a better value when it comes to a hanging basket, especially if you see it trailing, especially if you see that there's more foliage. I mean, a prime example would be that Proven Winners, philodendron, was it a philodendron Florida green, where one was like super established and another one wasn't, but it was still being sold for $29.98. That's why you've got to be really picky about your house plants. Like you can see that there's a bent leaf for that Aglaonema Silver Bay. So if I'm going to buy me an Aglaonema Silver Bay or one of those large Aglaonemas, I would really inspect the leaves and make sure that there's no cosmetic damage. Same thing with this $7.98. This one is a highly variegated Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Pothos like that as well. And you know, with Vigoro plants, they are the prime you know, source of plants for indoor tropical plants at Home Depot. I do appreciate it because I do find that like Vigoro plants are cost effective. And you can see right here now we have some more Proven Winner Leaf Joy H2O bowls on sale for 50% off. They are only $10, and you know, that's a good price for that small amount. And you can see there are more Proven Winner plants, so I'm hoping that I will run into an Anthurium Doc Bloc or Doc Bloc Anthurium, because you know, some of my most unexpected plant finds actually happen when I'm not expecting it. So, you know, I have a feeling that if I'm expecting it to show up at this Home Depot, it's probably not going to appear for me. I am confident that Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Dallas community, is going to end up getting those Doc Bloc Anthuriums. And knowing the plant community in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it is a very saturated, very strong plant community. So I just wanted to make sure that we have you know, quite a bit of those plants. But as you can see right over here, we have some Ficus elastica. This is a really nice plant as well, and it's one of those plants that I feel like, you know, a lot of people will grow as an indoor plant, and you can see it was overwatered. So I am trying to do due diligence by making sure that I am getting rid of the water, because there's not a drainage hole for those plants. They're in a catch pot. And you can see right here, we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy, beautiful plant as well. But the one thing I will say about this particular Home Depot is they definitely water. And some, you know, big boxers, they don't water their plants, but this one right here, look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's drowning, and Aglaonemas hate to be sitting in water like that. So let me go ahead and try to save these Aglaonema, you know, red siams. You know, that's one of my favorite plants. You know, it's a basic Aglaonema. This one is for $19.98, but we've got to save the Aglaonema. I've got to go ahead and pour all the water out, all the water. What do you guys think, plant foldies? Would you do the same, or am I just that silly person that goes into big box stores and, you know, hopes for the best for the plants? Like this one right here is an Aglaonema Anyamanie, $19.98. So it is still the same price as, say, a Costa Farms trending tropical Aglaonema Anyamanie, but it's in bloom. So, you know, with the Aglaonemas that are in bloom, you want to cut the blooms off because it will stun the growth of the plant. And you can see right there, look at that water. It is literally sitting in water. We've got to save these plants. We've got to make sure to get rid of that extra water, because a lot of these plants are going to end up getting root rot. And I can tell that these plants were just recently unloaded and restocked. And, you know, that's a plus. But at the same time, part of me wants to just buy these Aglaonema, like this one, for $19.98 just to save it. But then again, I've already got multiples of this particular Aglaonema. I love pink plants. I mean, leave it in the comments if you like pink plants as well. And also, if you made it this far into the video, that's super awesome. Please make sure you are hitting the like button for this plant shopping video. I would really appreciate it. And just know, if for some reason I don't find the Doc Bloc Anthurium today at this Home Depot, I am going to several Home Depots on Tuesday, a total of maybe 3, to see if I can find it. I'm just hoping that it's already made it to Texas, you know, the Anthurium Doc Blocs. That would be awesome. Now, I heard that they were retailing for $95. So depending on what that quality looks like, that might either be a want or a need. So the difference between a need plant is you need it that very day. A want plant becomes what you call a wish list plant, where you can save your money, or you can actually budget it out to where you can buy that plant at a later date. So we're going to see that even today, if I'm able to find that Doc Bloc Anthurium. But as you can see right here, I'm just looking at a bunch of Vigoro plants. These ones are for $7.98. This one is in a ceramic planter for the black rabbit's foot fern. I love the look of that. And then you see we have a bunch of Sansevieria, Trifasciatas, and a bunch of terracotta planters. That's one of my favorite planters to use for my plants, even though it's not always the best kind of planter for somebody who I would say myself is an underwaterer, somebody that doesn't water their plants, because terracotta planters actually suck the moisture a little bit faster, so your soil doesn't stay as wet as compared to a plastic grower pot like this. But $7.98, that's not bad for a snake plant. You know, with snake plants, they are marketed as an easy to care for indoor house plant, but for me, there's not really an allure for me to want to buy them just because they don't really grow as quickly, and their care is super simple, as in like they do better with neglect. I would say a snake plant is probably a better alternative for somebody who's got a very busy lifestyle. So if you don't have time to water plants, to curate your plants, to pamper and manicure your plants by wiping down the leaves and X, Y, and Z, I would say Sansevieria is a good choice. And also, this is a beautiful golden pothos. So like, I really like the fact that this golden pothos has a really nice looking just look about it, and that one is actually on sale as well. Really like the look of that. And then we also have more plants right over here, and the pothos plants are only for $9.88, so they were actually on sale. I'm almost tempted to purchase it, but like this one right here is not a good looking neon pothos plant. So leave in the comments though if you would actually buy a pothos plant for $9.88. I might even buy this one right here if it's on sale for $9.98. That is a 6-inch planter of Marble Queen pothos. Again, I love this, as well, but it's a gorgeous plant. It's a plant that I need, but I don't know if I really need it today. So we'll see. And then we have a bunch of Aglaonema silver bays. Those are for $14.98, but I'm just going to pan over here. I mean, this is a really full Home Depot, so I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't find the Doc Bloc Anthuriums. Everybody wants to find that Doc Bloc Anthurium, and that is another example of how people will follow trends. I am a little bit biased when it comes to that because I also want to follow that trend. At least for me to find that Anthurium Doc Bloc or a Doc Bloc Anthurium, I think it's just more of a success thing for me to plant hunt, to be able to show that it is in the market. So I'm hoping that all of our plant foldies, the Dallas-Fort Worth community, will continue to watch my videos this week because I am legit hunting for that Anthurium. I have lucked out on a lot of these plants that have been released, like, the Monstera Thai constellations. A lot of these plants that have started to make it into the big box stores, and I love that because then it becomes more readily available for us. Now, I did want to show you this. So this one is for $18.98, and I almost bought this because it is a azalea, but if you look at the initial shape, this would be a really good candidate to potentially make into an azalea bonsai. Like, it's already got a pretty nice trunk. I would just have to chop the lower limbs and then style it. But the thing is, I haven't had the best luck growing azaleas in the ground, so growing them in a shallow container long term, I'm not 100% sure, and I really don't have that dispensable income right now. I mean, I have really stretched myself short in terms of like, my plant budgeting. In the last video I talked about ways to save money on plants. Number one, you want to make sure that you have a specific plant that you're looking for to buy. Do your research. Number two, definitely have a set plant budget for yourself so you prevent yourself from doing impulse buys. And then number three, if there's another alternative to acquire a plant besides going to a big box store, maybe through a plant trade, maybe trading cuttings, that's another alternative. But people always ask me money saving ways to save money on plants. That's some of my tips for you. I need to listen to my tips. It's always easy to give advice, but actually following one's own advice is always a challenge. At least for me it is. I don't mind shelling out that advice, but for me, I think it's more effective when I actually follow my own advice. But as you can see right here, we are literally in a jungle, and honestly, this is one of the best Home Depots out in the North Dallas area. I mean, you can see here, this is a huge philodendron rojo Congo for, I believe, $26.98. It is a plant that people will find basic, but I mean, look at how pretty it is. It's got a natural shine to it. It's got nice stems. The new leaves unfurl to be a little bit more of a tan color. And then we have a proven winners, philodendron squamiferum. It's not a philodendron Florida green. Sometimes people mistaken that, but the petioles are fuzzy. This one is for $29.98, and that's the thing about these plants right here. Proven winners. You've got to get that Doc Bloc Anthurium to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are waiting for it. I am searching for it. As you can see right here, this is another proven winners plant. This one is a Amstel King ficus. I like that it's got narrow leaves. The thing about ficus, again, is you have to make sure that you're providing it with quite a bit of light for it to really thrive. I actually ended up returning one of my ficus plants back to Home Depot just because I really didn't think I could keep it alive long term. And I did want to show you this. This is a new Alocasia. This is an Alocasia blackout, and I love the black stems. I also love how the leaf shape is. You can see that there is a new leaf shape right there. It looks like it's overwatered, but look at how pretty that Alocasia is. I just love the black stems. Now I ended up getting a variegated black stem Alocasia, so it looks similar to this when I was at the Texas Aroid Show. And I'll tell you, next year I am going to have a jam-packed schedule in terms of just going to many plant shows. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy meeting people at these plant shows. So stay tuned for 2025. I'm super excited for that. And I did want to say, those that are watching my video now, those that continue to watch my videos in the future, and those who have watched my videos in the past, thank you again. It is a fun journey for me to just go into a big box store, pan around and show you some plants and talk about it. It is very therapeutic for me. It's a lot of fun for me, and I like to connect more people that love plants. Like this right here, I'm almost tempted to buy as well. This is for $29.98, but look at how pretty this Aglaonema Nicole is. Can you imagine using that leaf shine to make it super shiny? And you know, a large plant like this, $29.98 for an Aglaonema is a actual steal. That is such a good price, and that's the reason why a lot of big box stores tend to have a very good reputation when it comes to being more cost effective. And then you can see here, this is another Aglaonema Golden Bay, also known as Aglaonema White Rain. This one is nice, but you can see that there is some damage on the leaves. And for me, if I'm going to buy one today, if I'm not able to find the Doc Bloc Anthurium at this Home Depot, I will eventually buy this one, just because number one, if it's not $95, I am going to save a little bit of money. And then number two, I have been eyeing these Aglaonema, these larger ones, for a while. For a while I would consider them more of a want and not necessarily a need. I guess today I just need to buy a plant. Is that bad for me to tell y'all that like I am literally addicted to just plant shopping, and I have to find a way to kind of calm down and not spend money? A couple more updates. I am excited that I will be getting my Aglaonema import by Thursday this week from one of my Indonesian sellers. If you've never imported plants from overseas, things I would recommend is, number one, make sure that you find a reputable seller. There's a lot of scams that happen with overseas sellers. Number two, if you're going to connect with somebody to import plants, make sure they're able to provide pictures of the plants, videos of the plants, as well as being readily available through Messenger or something of that nature if you have any questions. All of the importers that I've got from Green Spaces ID, Art Garden Flowers, and some of my other importers, we have really good open communication. So stay tuned for that unboxing video. But going back to the plant, like this one is one of my favorite cordyline plants. That is a cordyline harlequin, also known as a cordyline kiwi. It's just got a lot of beautiful plant, colors going on. And, that is a plant, if we could only grow those long-term indoor, I would be all about it. But that plant really needs to be outdoors. Otherwise, they're a little bit more susceptible to spider mites. And speaking of spider mite magnets, you can see that we've got a lot of large Alocasia regal shields. This one is for $29.98, and it's a beautiful one as well, but it is one that, number one, I don't have this space for it. Now, I know that one of my Plant Foldy viewers, Gaz, says that she keeps these Alocasia regal shields indoors. I mean, kudos to you, because this is a large plant, and then it's another plant that I just feel like I wouldn't be able to grow well indoors. I have been able to grow Alocasias a little bit better by using a semi-hydro substrate called Lechuza Pon and mixtures of leca. But overall, I mean, Alocasias for me are not necessarily plants I would recommend for the novice plant lover. Somebody that has a little bit more time definitely will do a little bit more success, because then you're able to inspect the leaves if they have spider mites. You're able to water them a little bit more consistently. You just have more time to be able to take care of your plants. Somebody mentioned that if you couldn't, take care of an animal as a pet by by being able to provide the basic needs, then you don't need to bring the animal. I would also say the same thing about plants. If you cannot provide the basic care needs, such as light, water, and tender love and care, then you don't need to add plants. Like, I want to make sure that I'm encouraging people to grow plants, but at the same time, plants have requirements. They have needs, just like human beings. The only thing is they can't tell you verbally when they need something. Now, that Spathiphyllum, that large one right there, or peace lily, it'll tell you when it's thirsty. All the leaves will drop and you need to water it. But I don't know. I have not seen the Doc Bloc Anthurium. I mean, maybe it's hidden somewhere right over here. You can see that there are a lot of large house plants though. Like this is a ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf tree, and then we have a bunch of snake plants. And you know, as far as an easy to care plant, ZZ plants, we got the large varieties. And you know, if you want one for instant gratification in terms of the sizing to put in a lower light setting, I would just go ahead and buy the ZZ plant at Home Depot. You know, Home Depot has these large plants and they're priced accordingly, $24.98. And then we have a bunch of these hanging baskets. So I'm just going to keep walking around and showing you the plants. Hopefully we run into the Doc Bloc Anthurium. You can see we've got a lot of beautiful ficus lyrata over here, fiddle fig leaf tree, just many large foliage plants. I feel like I am in a jungle the way this Home Depot is super full. I mean, it is one of the best Home Depots out here. I am a little concerned about some of the overwatering that happens. So hopefully somebody will like tip these plants and make sure to get rid of the excess water. I mean, you can see over here, we do have these large Alocasia, but I just wouldn't recommend large Alocasia in an indoor space unless you really have the time and humidity to be able to maintain it, because they are spider mite plants. But this one right here, I think it's for $59.98, is a huge cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. Love the leaves, love the pink foliage, and it's just stunning. I love it so much. And I love the fact that they have moving air here. They have a fan that just kind of fans the plants around. There are some advantages on just keeping that air circulation going for the plants. It is a little bit more healthy, but when you have plants that might have like plant pests like you know, mealy bugs or spider mites, it could spread it throughout the plants. So whenever you're going big box store plant shopping, make sure you take your plant home, but spray it down with insecticidal soap, neem oil, and make sure to kind of quarantine it away from your plants for at least 2 weeks if it's possible. I'm not necessarily one to always quarantine my plants. I just give them a really good soak of neem oil, you know, the bottoms of the leaves, the tops of the leaves, the stems in between the nodes, the top of the soil, the bottom of the drainage holes, the sides of the pot, just to get rid of any potential pests or eggs. And I haven't had a lot of pest outbreaks. I did have a little bit of a thrips outbreak with some of my plants. Unfortunately, once thrips hits a plant, it's very challenging to get them back. So that means you have to just be a little bit more diligent. And whenever people ask me about what causes plant pests, I would say the biggest way to get, you know, plant pests is when you're having too many plants and you're not able to provide them the care needs that they need. But other than that, I just think basic spraying of your plants, it is natural for them to get plant pests. That's part of growing plants, especially when you are growing them indoors where they don't have any natural predators. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, it is a lot darker, and you can see that I still haven't found the Doc Bloc Anthurium. And you know, the crazy thing is, whenever I go plant shopping, sometimes it's at the very end where I find that particular plant I'm looking for. So I'm just walking around and showing you these plants. If you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are hitting the like button, as well as leaving comments about what plants you might personally buy from Home Depot, what you think about this Home Depot, and just how gorgeous it is. I really like the look of it, and it is one of those plants that I think it's just gorgeous. And then you can see over here we've got some more golden pothos. So I'm looking around, and even though this place is super full, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a Doc Bloc Anthurium at this location, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm probably going to walk over to the self-checkout area. Sometimes they have some plants here, but you know, things to admire though. Look at these variegated ginger plants. Really love the look of that as well. Unfortunately, they don't do very well indoors, at least in my care. They tend to like more humid environments outdoors, but what a gorgeous plant. It's a plant that definitely can grow in specific grow zones year round. I know even in Houston, Texas, which is more humid, people are able to grow this as like outdoor plants in their landscape. So I'm a little bit jealous of that. And you can see over here we do have some cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, but I don't think that there is any proven winner Doc Bloc Anthuriums. We're going to just check one more area. If that's the case, I mean, I'm okay with that. You know, that's what makes big box store plant shopping videos fun for me. Sometimes it's all about finding that particular plant, and it's also just taking you alongside with me. So I am in the self-checkout area. We never know if I'm going to find the Doc Bloc at the very end. So make sure you're watching this video at the very end. You will probably be surprised about what I might run into. But you can see here, $4.98. We've got some poinsettias. Love the poinsettias. I ended up getting mine for the holiday season just because I want to try to grow it as a long-term plant. So we're going to see what that looks like. You can see this one is 3 for $12. And let me know what color poinsettias you like. I do like the pink variegated ones. Leave that in the comments and let me know your thoughts about these poinsettias. See right here we do have the cactus with the little eyes. It's kind of strange. And then we have people have been telling me that these are not Christmas cactus, but really more so Thanksgiving cactus. $12.48. I guess they would be more so the Thanksgiving cactus because they are about to bloom around the time Thanksgiving hits, which would be next week. You know, things I have to be thankful for this year as I think about Thanksgiving coming up next year. You know, this year is definitely my health. You know, I really struggled with a lot of anxiety last year, you know, just to be fully transparent. But then finding an outlet like this where I can reconnect with the plants that I love and also to build a positive community on YouTube is really exciting. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm definitely thankful for my health, and I'm definitely thankful for how close-knit my family is. And then also just to be able to spend time with my grandmother. You know, a lot of these plants that I grow, a lot of the passion and interest that I love for plants really stems from my grandmother really exposing me to plant care at an early age. And, you know, when you think about the person that got you into plants, I always wonder everybody's story, whether it's your grandmother, a family member, or did you organically just like plants? For me, I wish I could just take the credit to say that I have been able to just get into plants because I like them, but it's really that exposure through my grandmother. And you know, when you think about plants, I know that I have been going around Home Depot today looking for that Doc Bloc Anthurium, but for me, it's not always about that rare plant. it's always about the plant that you can find that will bring you joy. So if you like this kalanchoe, this blooming one for instance, with all of the orange galore, then buy it. Buy the plant that's going to bring you joy. Just make sure you have a little bit of research and idea about what the plant's care tips are. You know, I went to Texas Aeroid Show and they had some speakers, and one speaker said if you ever have questions about the plant's care, Google search it online and you try to find it in its natural environment. The environment itself will kind of tell you what you need, whether it's going to be higher humidity levels, whether it is an understory type plant where it's going to need more shade. That's really a good way to have a basis of these plants, because you got to think every plant that I've picked up today was sourced out somewhere outdoors, somewhere on the other side of the world, or somewhere in the world. So I just wanted to put that out there and just give you some more plant insights. I do feel like the Doc Bloc Anthurium may show up, but I don't know if it is. Either way, I still enjoyed being able to get off of work, very busy, you know, today, and just be able to, you know, walk around and show you some gorgeous plants. And I did also want to show you some of the Christmas trees here. I will definitely try to get you some Christmas tree pricing, just because I know some of the viewers were curious to see how much they cost. And then I think I'm gonna go back and pick out that Aglaonema to purchase, because that is one of the plants that I did want to buy eventually. And you can see, you know, lots of really nice looking Christmas trees. I don't have a Christmas tree. I don't think I'm going to intend putting a Christmas tree up this year either. So we're going to walk back inside and just do one more walkthrough, and then I'm going to pick the Aglaonema Golden Bay. It doesn't look like we will find the Doc Bloc Anthurium, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't wait till the very end to stop watching this. There might be a surprise at the end, so definitely check that out. Who knows? There might be even a face reveal. I always tease about it, but one day it's going to happen. It may happen on our podcast called The Cultivation Corner. So make sure that you are subscribed to the Cultivation Corner YouTube, as well as following the Cultivation Corner on Instagram. That is going to be with Janae Simone and Steven at I Lift Plants. I hope everybody's had a fun time just walking around with me to try to find that Doc Bloc Anthurium by Proven Winners. Unfortunately, it's not there, but I did manage to pick up a beautiful Aglaonema Golden Bay, or what you call the White Rain, as well as that Cordyline Pinstripes. If you liked tonight's video, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out. It does push my content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And as always, you know, as far as following me, make sure you do hit the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. I definitely want to find that video for you where I can find the Doc Bloc Anthurium. This is Richie at Grow Folds. I hope you have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow.